Hello and welcome back to Come Geek Some. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe for all future content. So we have the final deposition of Vic, and I must admit, it's quite upsetting, but there's some parts of it which are absolutely brilliant. You know, so I am going to open this up with, say, obviously Vic is more upset about losing his connection to his fan base than anything else. This is what Vic is more upset about, because obviously he's played this character now for more than 15 years, and he even says in the video, he's gone to conventions, he's gone to tons of places where everyone is like, oh, we love Broly, he's our favourite character, he's this, he's that. People cosplay him, people ask Vic to sign all the toys and all the merchandise that they do, even the drawings that these fans do. Vic loves it, and Vic loves his fans. But obviously now, Vic is only upset, I think he's upset the most about it because it's work, he's going to miss his character. It's not these allegations and all this horrible stuff that these people have somehow concocted amongst themselves just to destroy someone who's had a bit more success than they have. And again, it's going back to a couple of videos where, Monica was like, we done this show or we done this movie, I was the main character, my name wasn't even on the box or on the cover, Vic's was. Well, that just shows Vic sells stuff, you don't. And that's why. But to me, that is a little bit of jealousy. It's a bit of, right, I'll get you now. It's a motive right there. It's jealousy because Vic is more successful, And when Vic breaking down in this deposition, he has done this before, obviously way before all the court stuff was happening. And he was just, he was at a convention and it happened, and he was just like, I can't believe these people I've called friends for over a decade, and these people have done this to him. It's heartbreaking, because it would get to you when this person these people you've called friends for decades, for years, you've done a lot of stuff together, and all of a sudden they're saying that you've done this to them. It's like, whoa, where the hell does this come from? What's happening? But we're going to move away from the sadness of this part, because what Vic actually says in this video as well is absolutely incredible. So, he's reading the allegations and reading, obviously, the statement from Monica. He's like, so Monica has said that, obviously, she had this horrendous ordeal with Vic. This happened and all that. But then, she decides to go back to the hotel room with him. Why would she do that? The second situation. Why would she do it? Vic even says it to everyone in the room. He's like, well, why would she do that? Everyone says these. And, he's saying, he's like, it's still fresh. And the reason is why it's fresh is because none of this has happened. I think this is absolutely brilliant. The way Vic is doing this now. He's literally like, well, you're telling me all this stuff has happened. I've told you it hasn't, but obviously you're believing Monica and everyone else because they're women. That's what you people are programmed to do. This is why, again, people are not on Kick Vic. They're like, oh no, this is it, you don't, because no one believes what Monica or Jamie is saying. Everyone's like, you hate women. It's like, well, no, we don't hate women. We just hate liars. And again, if you can't show any evidence, because this is going back to the death threats and everything that has happened. These people have had death threats. We've had this, we've had that. Well, can you show us? Because obviously you're all saying this via Twitter. Then obviously you're going to still have them, the DMs or whatever. And when you're like, well, can we see it? They go quiet, or they block you, or they just come back with some stupid bullshit. And you're just there like, well, I guess you're wrong. I guess you are lying because you can't prove, you can't prove any evidence. And, then they're like, oh, no, you hate women. It's like, no, no one hates women on I Stand With Vic. I think the majority of I Stand With Vic is people who are on I Stand With Vic, they are women. there's a ton of women. I think it's pretty much over 50% of I Stand With Vic are women. But again, you don't like to see those numbers because you can't justify it. Because on, Kick Vic, there seems to be a lot of males. You got a few women on there, yeah, but the majority of them seem to be males. And again, that can only be to the, go woke, go broke situation and all this stuff that's happening. It's like they just want to try and get into bed with these girls. That is why these people are called cucks. This is why they're called beta males, not alpha males, because these are the ones who are doing everything that the women are saying. And now, obviously, because they've actually come now to the deposition, it's become to court and all this kind of stuff, it does show you now that, Vic, he's even said it himself, for 5.5 months, he didn't reply to anyone about it, he didn't defend himself, he didn't do anything, because he was shocked that these people, who he called friends, had done this to him. And I'm still going to stand by what I've said in numerous videos regarding this situation. And to me, I personally think Monica came on to Vic. Vic said no, so Monica went back, told Ron some elaborate story, and this is what happened. And it's just snowballed from there. And I don't think that they realised how much this was going to go. And I personally think a lot of them didn't think Vic would actually take him to court, because obviously for 5.5 months, Vic didn't do anything. He didn't say anything, he didn't do nothing. So, to me, that's like, actually, you know what, yeah, Vic hasn't, he's not said nothing, he's not going to do nothing, he won't take us to court, we're friends. But when you get people, like these people, who are literally stabbing one of their friends in the back just because they've had a bit more success than they have. And yeah, there's nothing else really to say about it. To me, Vic Mignogna has destroyed everyone in this deposition, because Vic Mignogna, you can see in his face, in his eyes, that he is there like, you've ruined my life. That's the only thing. You've ruined my career because I've got more success than you. And Vic has acted so professionally. He's been very respectable as well. And while all of them on Kick Vic, again, I'm going back to the situation that these people supposedly on Kick Vic, there's meant to be a lot of victims of this kind of abuse. And the way they're acting is not like how a victim would act. Again, people have been like in the comments, well, how can you say that? How do you know? Were you a victim? Were you this? Were you that? Like, no. But I know victims. I know 2 personally. And they do not act like this. They do not act like these people have. They don't lash out at people. They don't act like they're privileged like these people have been, They don't act like some of the horrible stuff that Kick Vic have been doing. Kick Vic is basically toxic masculinity at its best, because there is more males than females on Kick Vic. And most of these people, they just like to go on Twitter or wherever, they just like to, if I say this, maybe so and so will sleep with me. Perfect example, SJW Spider-Man. He's one. He tries his hardest. For some unknown reason, everything Renfamous or Mars Girl or any of these people say, he's literally there like, yes, yes, yes. And I was like, dude, Vic has destroyed your people because he's telling the truth. This goes back to what I said as well, of people, when you act like Vic is acting, which is confident and you're telling the truth, this is what happens. This is what happens. When you don't shift in your sheet if you're telling the truth, Again, people have been saying as well, Monica was nervous, Ron was nervous. Well, how can they be nervous with the amount of shit they chatted on Twitter saying, we want to go to court, we want this, we want this, we want the depositions, we're going to show everyone. And then when it comes to it, they have nothing. They didn't do the discovery process, they didn't do any of that. They just kept jerking Vic off. Who cares? We don't want this, we don't want that. No, send this back. They thought that the FUNimation TCPA was going to help him. It didn't. What the FUNimation TCPA did do was throw Monica and Ron under the bus. And obviously, we've seen in their deposition videos, they have nothing to give. And that is why Vic is going to win this, because Vic has destroyed them. He's destroyed all their allegations. He's given precise accounts of everything that's happened. He's even read some of the statements, and he's like, well, why would this happen? So Vic knows exactly what he's saying. And again, this is very, very true of an honourable person. He's telling the truth. He hasn't got to lie. This is the problem, okay? People don't like it because Vic is wiping the floor with them. And it's glorious. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for future updates. And I'll see you lovely people soon.